everyone, and welcome to episode 118 of the Holding Court podcast. Today, Justin will explain why he's upset by my recent travels. We'll recap our recent adventures in DC and New York, including a chance encounter in an elevator. All coming up right now on Holding Court.
Bum 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 bum.
You're really grooving with that intro.
I know, it never gets old.
It doesn't, and it will not.
I know.
And maybe, I don't know, do we upgrade at any point?
I don't know. If we ever decide to do a rebranding, maybe we do a new intro.
It's risky. I don't know. We might lose people. I'm starting to add to my background here. If you notice, sequence is up there.
Yeah, sequence.
It's the closest thing I could find to spruce it up, but I'll look for other things. Yeah, I'm sure I have more. Maybe
one day you take us through the books up there.
I will. I did on one episode. I went through one of them, but you obviously don't listen to the podcast. That's perfect segue into my... No, when you're not on it and there's a guest.
All right.
Perfect segue to talk about why you were upset by my recent travels, which I alluded to in the intro. We just have to talk about it. I'll start, and then you can tell me why you're mad, and I'll tell you why I think that is bullshit. Okay. Let's start at the top.
Let's go.
So you were in... Where were you at? Were you in New York?
No.
Yes, you were in New York.
DC.
No, this was New York.
Oh, right.
Right?
We went from DC to New York.
Yeah. Okay, so I went to both, but I split it up. So I went to book my flight. Everything's great. I always book really early. I wanted to get into New York and be able to have breakfast with you before you go to the field. You go to the field around like 12 or 1, which maybe later in the episode we talk about how early you go to the field and everything you do. Because someone the other day asked if you could like meet for lunch or dinner or something before a game, and they were like very thrown that you go to the field, especially for the first game of a series, like 6 hours before. But anywho, so I think I booked a 8 a.m. flight, which was going to get me there. It's a 40-minute flight, so gate to gate. It was going to land around 9 and then get to you. I haven't been checking a bag lately, and I was going to get to you by 10 and wake you up, or if you're already up, and we would go to breakfast. So I don't know if anyone knows about Snapchat AI. This will just be how I start off my story. So there's a new feature in Snapchat, and it'll show up as one of your chats in the app, and it'll say My AI. It's like a little alien, very topical. And you can ask it anything. It's kind of creepy. I get it. AI is happening, and I just need to buckle my seatbelt, but I don't love it. It freaks me out. And that's that. So I asked AI, which you can really ask him or her anything. I said, should I pack for my flight? Because I'm a notorious same day flight packer, last minute. No surprise there.
Lightly put.
Yeah. It's part of my brand to be late. Literally in my bio on Instagram. But I asked, should I pack now or should I pack in the morning? And AI said, I think it's best if you pack tonight. You'll have a less stressful morning.
I agree.
I don't. So I said, well, that's not fun. You don't believe in me. And then AI said, of course I believe in you. I think you could get it done. I'm just telling you what I think would reduce your stress. I went to bed. So good night, AI. See you in the morning. I don't know what it is. I can't pack the night before. I don't know if it's because I get tripped up in toiletries that I'm going to use in the morning, and I just kind of want to get ready. I'm also a weirdo where I will do laundry before a trip, and you can attest to this. I don't
think that's weird.
I put everything away.
Right.
Instead of some people would keep, well, you'll be like, oh, I'm going to wear that. I'm going to bring that on the trip. I'm going to do this. I have to pack from a completely clean, laundered, put away closet and make my selections from there. Even if I know I'm about to turn around and take a shirt off a hanger, I still start fresh. So might be weird, but who knows? So I go to bed. I wake up. I give myself, I don't know, I was only going for 2 nights. I give myself like 30 minutes to pack. So get ready, pack, put the dogs in their crate. They were going to wait for their sitter to come. And I get down to the car, turn on the car because I'm driving to the airport. And I get a notification from JetBlue that says your flight is now delayed 90 minutes. I just turn the car off. I take my bag and I go back inside. This is where I differ with a lot of people. Would you have continued on to the airport?
I probably would have continued on to the airport and just said, okay, I'm going to go grab breakfast, like hang out, whatever, pick up a crossword and just be at the gate. Because I have had my flight a couple times where it was delayed and then moved back up. And that is maybe the only thing that gives me anxiety.
Yeah, they always say that, but I never knew if it was true. And honestly, I don't think it's the worst thing to wait at an airport. I don't know. I just, in my mind, I thought, okay, I'm going to go back inside. I let the dogs out of the crate. I got on the couch and I just took a nap for an hour. And then what happened? I woke up to a text that said, your flight is moved back up.
Right.
We're ready to go. And I don't know if it said on time departure, but I think it said my flight was originally 8. I think it was saying it was going to try to take off now by 8:30. So I thought, okay, I'm going to leave. And now I'm suddenly not scrambling because I had the same pace of play that I probably would have if I was early, and put the dogs in, head back to the airport, get there, park. I have this down to a science now without checking a bag. It's really lovely. Even though Boston is a pretty big airport, I have it down. I have my clear and I have pre-check. So I don't really need a lot of time. Honestly, we already have our boarding pass now. Baggage cutoff will get me sometimes. I got to play it right, but I think it's fine. So, and JetBlue is 40 minutes, not 45. Southwest is 30. So those extra few minutes
you really take advantage of those
really,
extra minutes.
Really helpful. So I get to the airport and I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's just JetBlue lately, but they don't update and say boarding. Remember how it used to say boarding on your app? Like American will do that and different ones will do it. I know JetBlue has in the past, but for whatever reason, I don't know if my last few flights have been delayed and it just hasn't done it, but it wasn't flashing boarding, but the time of the flight was in like 10, 15 minutes. So I get up to my gate and I probably sound stupid, but I ask, did the flight leave? Are we boarding? And she said, no, we're on a ground stop. We're at a ground stop right now. So no flights are going out of Logan and no flights are coming in Logan. So I thought, why am I already here? But that's fine. It's fine. I'll hang out. And so she said, I'll make another announcement in 30 minutes. So I thought, okay, I will go to the bathroom. I'll like go get a snack and then I'll turn around, whatever, which cover your ears if you're grossed out by disgusting things. I went into the bathroom. I don't even know how this is humanly possible. There was someone that obviously had a morning
chorizo
situation, like a morning, I don't know what happened. And I don't know how this, I don't even know, like thinking about like geometry or like I don't even know what like angle. They had to have been like leaned down and forward. It was like up out of the toilet and like on the back wall. So I don't know if maybe it was, I don't know, praying for that person, obviously, keeping them in my thoughts. But how do you not do like a courtesy, just a little wipe down? Because someone is obviously going to have to come in there. We're not at the point of like AI cleaning these bathrooms yet. So like someone had to go in there and like start their cleaning shift and wipe up your shart. So
yeah. Ugh.
I know.
Tough.
And then it's like one of those where like, I can't shake that visual. Like I will always, right. So like out of that bathroom, okay, I guess I'll find somewhere else to pee. So anyways, go back to the gate and it looks like outside, it looks like in The Devil Wears Prada, the scene with Meryl Streep where she's trying to fly home and it shows out her window and the trees are just, it's like the Wizard of Oz storm scene outside. And she's like, why are we not able to fly out of here? That's kind of what it looked like outside momentarily. Happened very fast because when I was driving to the airport, I was very confused why we were already delayed. But so it looked really bad. But they said we were boarding, which is comforting. So we get on the flight and there's about, I would say 20 people on my flight. It's very empty. And I'm doing this thing where I have my away roller bag, my carry-on, and then I'm using this, I think it's called Bays, like a duffel bag with a bottom compartment for shoes. It holds 3 pairs of shoes on the bottom.
It's huge.
It's a personal item.
It's personal.
It is a personal item and it qualifies as a backpack or a purse if people don't notice. So I do like a little charm of the flight attendants when I'm getting on the flight, a little distraction as I just wheel it by them.
Look over here, don't look at my bags.
To break the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they see that I'm a Mosaic member of JetBlue. I don't want to brag, but it does help to have the status. So I get on, I get both of my bags up in the overhead, which is rare. That's a win. So I get in, I settle, and they like pull the jet bridge. Everything seems, I guess, good to go. And then they come on and say, P.S. They won't let us have the bridge out. We can't taxi. We're in another ground stop. There's a massive storm coming from New York that's about to pass us, hit us, whatever. So we get off the plane. So now I'm just, okay, cool. So I'm not worried because I don't have to be there. I think if we had a wedding or we had something going on, it would be scary. And also I think there's flights to New York probably every half hour. So, and I had my bag with me. If I had checked my bag, probably would have been stressed, but I'm great. Easy breezy. So get off the plane and they say, we're going to make another announcement in like 30 to 45 minutes about what we're going to do. And we might be having another flight come on board with us because another flight got canceled. So we'll be full and it's going to take a while. So I thought, let me go get breakfast. So I go to this little bar nearby and get bacon and eggs and eat very quickly, get my check, which I wanted to kind of post up there and watch TV and be that person that sits at a bar and drinks wine at 8 a.m. But
so you can be like a faux early person, even though you weren't early.
Yeah, like I sat down for a nice meal. It was lovely. But I still, without the app telling me we were boarding or anything, I just felt like I had to stay nearby. And the restaurant was like diagonal to my gate, so it wasn't that crazy of a walk. And so I pay my check and then I go back up to my flight. This was honestly maybe 20 minutes, maybe 25. Like that's even saying a lot. You can timestamp because I took a photo of my breakfast.
I believe you.
And then I have probably the text where I tell you I got back to my gate. It was not a long time at all.
Got it.
So I already feel the judgment.
No judgment.
Okay. So
Just
I get back to my gate
story.
and I notice the worst thing that you don't want to see at the airport. The destination on the board now says Florida. I'm not going to Florida, and that is my gate. So where's my plane? Oh, it's still there. Okay, no big deal. Flight attendants are still coming out at the door, everything. And then I turned to a lady. I said, are you going to New York? She said, oh, no, this is Florida. So I'm like, oh, we must have had a gate change. Simple change. Great. Feeling good. I talked to the flight attendant. She said, oh, we just closed the door like a minute ago. Awesome. Thought we weren't even getting an update for another 30 to 45, but now you're on your way. I said, well, the plane is still there. Are you guys like fully here? We're going to do the board and the get off and the whole thing. No, it's gone. So she said, go to the ask counter or something. I don't know, JetBlue, like help me counter, which we enjoyed that one on our way back from Ireland. So I run over there and because she said, oh, the next flight's like not till, they put me on another flight that was at like 1:50, which was like 6 hours. So I was definitely going to go home if that was the case. And I get to the help counter and the lady says, there's a flight boarding right now. The doors are about to close. I'm going to do you as a standby, but a confirmed passenger with a seat. And she said, can you run? I said, of course I can run. I'm a runner. Do you
Hello.
not see these
Turner trot.
These muscles, I'm seasoned. I'm ready to go. We're at like C26. She goes, okay, it's at C24. So I thought, okay, that's like more my style. Like one little like jaunt up the little, what's it called? It wasn't incline. So it was nice. I run up and the flight attendant's at the desk and she says, are you Kourtney? Why, yes, I am. Have you heard about me? I'm here. And she said, all right, we're about to close the door. Let's go. So I wheel my double luggage action, my carry-on and my personal item, full regulation. And I get on the flight and there is no space up top. This is not at all how it was supposed to be. So I went from being like the queen of my castle with all the space in the world, a full row, and now it's crammed, jammed, slammed. And so I go down to my row and I have my 2 bags and the flight attendant was like, we're going to make this work. I thought, yes, we are. This is going to be great. And so she's kind of looking around and she's like, whose bag is this? And someone's like, it's mine. It's like this big, like duffel bag. She's like, okay, can this go under your seat? And he's like, yeah, sure. And then this other guy was like, oh, I can actually pull mine down too. So now people are just like pulling their bags down. And then suddenly I'm getting these carry-ons.
This is what I'm talking about.
Right above my head. I thought, this is wonderful. I can stretch out. And JetBlue does have the most leg room in coach. They will tell you that right before they take off. Say, welcome. You have the most leg room in coach. Have a great flight. So now I have all this space. This is wonderful. And we're up and away. Like we were honestly, I think like I buckled my seatbelt and we started taxiing. So we were ready to go. This was the 11 a.m. flight, I think. And so just for funsies, I go on the app and I look at my flight and guess what flight is still on the ground. So you know what? I actually landed before those suckers that wanted to take off without me. And I was feeling pretty frisky after that. And you were mad.
Yeah. Just multiple things that AI would have told you shouldn't have done. But you did anyway, and it still worked out for you. Just like always. Like it always works out for you. Which, I mean, most of me is happy that it worked out.
Yeah, why are you rooting against me? You should be like, yeah, that's my wife. She's a badass. Her flight got there sooner. Suck it, lady that told her there was going to be an announcement. Suck it, ground stop.
Because
she got a full belly and dodged someone's shart on the wall. That's my wife.
Because if it always works out, you'll never learn, and you're always going to want to do it your way.
But is there a lesson to be learned here? I don't know. I don't think there is.
No, but I do want to go back to something that you brought up that made me think of it. And it's like, This is like the men's room versus the women's room where it's like advantage men. Like,
you guys don't.
First of all, men's bathrooms, especially in the AM, the shitters are always full. Like, the stalls are always full. But
there's guys in them, or they're full of shit.
No, there's guys. There's always guys
it's jam packed in there.
Yeah,
okay.
Like so. That's but fair. The luxury that guys have is we also have a wall full of urinals. So, like if
I just need to pee,
we don't have to navigate through 7 stalls just absolutely power blasted.
This thing was like literally a power washer of shart.
Yeah, and you guys, like, I feel bad for you guys because you guys, even though you just have to pee, you're still going in and probably battling some of that, which is tough.
I had to battle.
Yeah.
I did. Thank you for recognizing my hardships.
Sorry for that.
But I still, I just think if anything, you just laugh at me. I don't think you should be rooting against me.
I'm not rooting against you.
But you kind of wanted me to miss my flight.
No, I want you to learn your lesson, but it not affect anything. And I don't know how that'll happen. Because if it doesn't affect anything, obviously you're not going to learn your lesson. So.
Yeah. I mean, again, if I was going somewhere where I needed to be there at a certain time, like I had a wedding or I had a birthday or something specific, or a work thing, I think it would matter. I've definitely been delayed and I've needed to be somewhere for work, and it is very stressful, especially when it's a delay and it's out of your control.
Right.
So that I understand. And I've definitely missed flights, and I don't know. I mean, it always works out, right? I always just think I'm destined for the flight I'm going to get on.
Yeah. You made it.
But I missed you.
Yeah.
I missed you. I didn't get to go to breakfast with you, but I already had breakfast, so I didn't even really need to see you that day.
You were delayed enough to where I had to get on the bus and head to the field because it was the first game and we have to go 6 hours early. But it was enough of a delay where I didn't even get to see you. I was going out and you were like, you literally got to the hotel like 5 minutes after the bus.
We were like ships passing in the night. But it was wild.
I didn't have a choice. I had to make that first bus.
Yeah. It was first day of the series. You got to get there.
Yeah.
I'll back it up to DC for more like elements and more. We've had like a pretty rainy season.
It's rained so much.
And from what I've heard is obviously we've come to Boston like when you were on the visiting team, and it's rained. We've had a super delay. I remember there was one game that was really cool. I don't think you guys resumed playing until like 1 a.m, which those are always really fun.
Yeah.
Because the people that stay, A, have been in the bar, and B, are diehards in there. And even though there's only like a handful of people still there, it's always a fun little rowdy crowd if you stay.
Right.
But from what I've heard, we are like in the midst of one of the rainiest seasons, or at least that's what everyone's telling us, that it's not normally like this.
But the crazy thing is we've been rained out of one game.
Yeah.
We played one doubleheader in Fenway.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
So it's rained all the time.
But it's just it'll be like a couple hours or.
I think we've had 2 series this entire year where we had nice weather for all 3 games.
Yeah.
Like other than that, it's been, rain or cold or fog or something.
It's not really getting me down though.
No,
like people are like, oh my God, how are you surviving? Like people are like very mad about your rain post, which we'll have to talk about, but like it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, we're surviving. And it
hasn't been bad.
I'm not soft. Like I grew up in Indiana shoveling snow off my car to go to school uphill both ways. Like I'm good. I'm fine. I actually enjoy a little variety right now. It's just been crazy. Like it's crazy what people say, like that it's not normally like this because
now that we've talked about it, we'll probably get rained out like 4 times.
100%. We're not no more.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, for sure. So you posted a video in DC of us. We're trying to be tourists. It was kind of my doing ish.
Well, you really wanted to go to the Museum of Modern Art, right? Is that what it was?
MoMA? Not in DC.
No, what was
it? Was the Smithsonian, and it was I think it was the American History.
Oh, American History. That's right.
I love.
But
that.
there was a new.
Yes. So I've done exhibit.
Exhibit. There you go.
So we've done a lot of them too. Smithsonian's, like the Air and Space and all of that. But there's been this exhibit that it existed when I went on the Washington, D.C. trip that I think everyone goes on in 8th grade. You might have been the only person that didn't go on it. You missed that one, right?
No, I don't think we went.
Did people go in your school?
I don't think
we had
so.
like 30 people that went.
I don't know.
In ours. But so you do all the museums then, and there was this exhibit where it's kind of like right up my alley with like the pulp culture stuff. Like you see the ruby slippers from Wizard of Oz and like different sports memorabilia and that sort of thing. So it's been teased for, I think when I went there with my mom and my sister, that was 2018 or 2019, and it was closed off for remodeling, and then obviously COVID just kind of shut it down. So this is the first chance I've had to go see it. So I thought it's perfect. And the museums are free, which is really nice because I think a lot of times if you think you don't have a full day to spend in a museum, and some of them get expensive, you just end up not going. But it's nice to be able to think, oh, I can just pop in for one exhibit and then leave if I want to. Or we walked around a few. There was some military ones, and what was the other one? I don't know. But we walked through a few, not just that one, but wanted to go see that one. It was cool. What?
I was trying to think of the other one. It was like World War I was one of them.
Yeah, there was military and like I know there was one on the national anthem. Yeah.
The inventions.
And
the flag.
Yeah, the anthem. It was like the history of the anthem, which was cool.
But this one was cool because like the sporting, I was obviously into all the sporting stuff. I mean, Muhammad Ali was in there. Jackie Robinson was in there. Roberto Clemente was in there.
Yeah, the very first baseball mitt, or what they think was the very first baseball mitt.
I posted that on my story, actually. But it was cool. There was, who else was on there?
They had some Jordan stuff.
Mia Hamm had a jersey there. Jordan had a jersey there.
It was like Prince's guitar was there. Yeah. There was an old Kermit, which was cool. There's like it's just like a bunch. It's like a Archie Bunker's chair, like a bunch of just like pop culture-y items.
Mr. Rogers,
like a little
wasn't there? Mr. Rogers exhibit, yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, so it was cool. So we did that, walked around a little bit, and then I had this bright idea to go and sit by like the
river,
but by like all the monuments. There's like this little spot where you can like go and have lunch. So we thought, oh, let's grab like boba or something and go sit over there. And it was like a mile-ish walk. Yeah. So me not liking to call an Uber, I even took the train from the airport to the hotel, which was nice. I don't know why I'm like anti-Uber. I think it I don't know, just freaks me out.
You get car sick sometimes too. So
I get car sick. I don't like the whole like chatting situation. I don't know. I don't like trying to find I don't know. Something about it. Can't like pinpoint it. Something about it just freaks me out. But I definitely use it when I need to. But I saw if it's under a mile, under like 2 miles, I'm probably walking. Right. Just saying. And what's the only thing that would stop you from walking?
Well, it didn't stop us.
It didn't.
Well, kind of.
So we're walking and we stop at like the food trucks and look to see if there's like boba or anything. They all like had dairy in them. It was very sad. So we're like, okay, scrap that. So we go to keep walking and there's one drop. You have an app on your phone, like dark sky. Now the iPhone does the same thing, but it'll say rain is going to start falling in X number of minutes, which is very jarring.
We knew it was coming. We knew the rain was coming, but we're like, it's whatever. It'll rain, but we'll be fine. No. Before we got to the first street light, it was coming down in buckets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you want to do? Do you want to get an Uber? Like now, what are we doing? And Kourt turns and there's like an ice cream guy pushing a cart like on the corner. And she's like, look, he's got umbrellas. And so I'm like, hey bro, like, can I get 2 of those umbrellas? He's like, yeah, $20. So $10 a piece for these umbrellas. And I
wasn't going to negotiate a deal.
Right. I'm like, whatever, dude. Like I need an umbrella. So give him $20, pop these things open. And it maybe covered like my left shoulder. These things were tiny. Like Mary Poppins was not floating around on this thing. It was
made for like a Cabbage Patch doll.
Right. And then we're like, whatever, it is what it is. And we look at each other, we're like, well, we have umbrellas. Like, let's walk. Like it's going to pass, right? Like, yeah,
surely it's going to pass. This is just a little drizzle.
No, it was just straight dumping for like 30 minutes.
It was some of the hardest rain I've ever felt. And I don't know if it's just because normally when it's raining, like let's say you like pull up to the grocery store and it's raining, like you run inside, right?
Right.
Or like you're somewhere, you're at a game and you like eventually take cover because they'll say, okay, everyone has to get out of their seat and get inside. This was just relentless. The only other time I can remember feeling rain this heavy was my hometown, the county fair, Toby Keith concert, and my mom and I were there. I think he played maybe 3 songs. Didn't even get into like the good classics. And it just dumped. And then it was like tornado warning and all of this. And he never came back. We just ran. I think it was like a mile or 2 to the car because obviously it's a parking lot just like forever.
Tyne
I know. I'm
going
just
a
like,
mile
Mom,
in the rain.
Gotta dig deep right now. We gotta do this. My mom does not like walking fast anywhere.
And her hair too. Her hair was
it was one of those mess. Where like you get back home and you like change clothes, get in your comfies, dry off, and you still feel like you're not dry.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those. And that's what this reminded me of, which was crazy. And it came a point where we didn't make it to where we were going to go. We got to see the Washington Monument, which is always nice to see there.
We stopped and took pictures in the downpour.
We did.
In front of the Washington Monument.
And then there came the point where we were like, okay, we have to call the Uber. It's time.
Well, the problem with the umbrella was it was so small that if I held it on my left side, the water would run off the right side on my right shoulder. If I held it like in front of me, it would run off the back, like down the back of my shirt. If I held it like tilted back, it'd be dripping on my, like I could not, if it was blocking the rain, the runoff from the umbrella was just running all down my shirt. So I was soaked.
And mine was running off into you.
Yeah, because we were walking next to each other. So I had like like Twin Peaks waterfalls just coming off these umbrellas, just crushing me. My pants were so wet at the bottom that you know how when like
good thing you didn't have Jinkos.
You know how when clothes get wet and the water just starts running up them? Like my pants were like mid-thigh, like soaking wet.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then they get heavy.
They felt like they weighed like 50 pounds.
Yeah.
So we made it so we go by the monument. We're in this park and we're like, we just got to get an Uber. So we get an Uber.
My phone wouldn't even let me scroll because it was so wet and then my hands are wet. So it's like glitching. And I'm just trying to call one as soon as possible. And I just think, I hope this person will actually take these two wet dogs into their car. Obviously, like, we don't have a towel, we don't have a blanket, we have nothing. And if they plan on doing more rides, we're about to just drench their seats.
But anyway, you finally get an Uber, right? And it's like 9 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's
like,
not far, but it just is not moving. Like, I think it's just like there was a full jam right there.
And Kourt's like, well, there's like a little building over here. Like, let's just go like see if we can like lean up against the wall and not get drenched. And so we go over, we get to this building.
It's like a ranger station, which we didn't know at the time. I thought it was like a bathroom at the time.
We're like outside.
The door was locked.
We're outside this door and we're like huddling, like trying to stay dry. And all of a sudden, like the door opens.
We like fall into the door because it props
like,
open.
Hey, do you guys need to come in?
No, she's like, what are you guys doing? Are you okay? We're like, we're obviously like, we're not okay. Do we look okay?
Oh, man. But she invited us in and it ended up being a ranger station. And she was like, I saw you guys out there
park
just
ranger.
Getting
pummeled
by the storm. Like, come wait inside. She's like, what are you guys doing? We're like, we're waiting for an Uber. She's like, yes, please come inside. There's a bathroom right here.
There was a puddle around both of us.
I know. It was so
like,
bad.
Well, we had to like turn our umbrella upside down and kind of like shake it outside of the door. And then I think you went to the bathroom and like came out and like I'm just standing in like this full puddle of rain.
Yeah.
And
it was like a comic. It felt like a comic strip.
Like how we got pulled in by the park ranger. And
then she was trying to give us instructions on like how to get the Uber as close as possible so we didn't have to walk as far. But that didn't work. We still had to walk.
Yeah, we had to redo it. It was fine.
100 yards to get to the Uber.
It was comical.
Isn't that far, but when it's pouring and you're soaking wet, we were like, oh gosh. And then when we opened the door, we're like, we're so sorry to the Uber. And he's like, don't worry, just get in.
Yeah, he was
great.
Champ. Because I honestly thought he was gonna get super annoyed.
Right.
And then you're like, should we just leave the umbrella? I'm like, no, we're taking this with us. We might need it again. And we just go back to the hotel.
But we left it in the hotel room. I didn't bring him.
And then it was honestly the most beautiful day, which I feel like that happens a lot.
If we would have waited like 20 more minutes, we'd have been fine. Yeah.
We should have stayed in the ranger station.
Yeah.
Well, remember that game? It was I don't remember. When was this? 2016? And you guys had a playoff game, rained out. They rained it out before you guys even went to the field, I think.
Yep.
Which is kind of crazy.
It was like 2:00.
But I wonder if it had to do with like if it was going to be pushed back, then like TV was going to be an issue kind of thing. But I think it was supposed to be a massive storm coming in. And we just stayed at the hotel.
They called it at like, it was, it might have been 1:00 because we didn't even leave the hotel.
Yeah, they called it super early.
And so we go to dinner and we're sitting out on the patio outside, uncovered at like 7:30 and not a drop in the sky.
Do you know where we went to dinner?
We went to Potbelly's, I think. I say dinner. We went
I love
to
that we had a
Potbelly's.
full night to go. I know. I was like, didn't know if you didn't remember properly, or you were
No,
trying
I
to make us
remember.
sound classier than we were.
I was trying to make it sound classier. We went to Potbelly.
We
There's
did.
nothing not classy about Potbelly.
No,
okay?
not at all. But I just wanted to make sure that you.
Maybe not as a dinner option, but like, yeah.
It's wild that we had a night off in a wonderful city and we didn't choose to go to like a nice dinner.
Well, the crappy part about it was the next day was supposed to be an off day. So we were traveling back to LA, but we had to play.
That's right.
And then we had to fly back to LA after the game.
Yeah, that's right.
And then play again the next day, which made it 10 times worse because it didn't even rain. We were like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So
I know. But it ended up being like the most perfect night.
it was
And
partially cloudy.
partially cloudy. You had one more funny encounter in DC, which made me laugh. That this is like, how many years is this in the making with you signing this child? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's been, I think, like 3
I wish I knew this person's name.
3
They wrote
years
me
in a
on
row,
Twitter
4 years in a row
to give you a
now.
heads up, but you were already I think you were already at the game.
It was like a newborn baby the first time I met these fans, and they had their newborn
in a onesie, right?
in like a JT onesie.
It was the like 500 level shirts.
Yeah.
Where they make like $1 million for every player, like different styles.
And so I'm out down the left field line warming up, and I go over to sign a couple autographs, and they're like, JT, like, can you sign our baby or the onesie? I'm like, oh my God, yeah. So I sign it and I take a picture, and then the next year they come back, and the kid's 1 now, obviously, and they have a picture of me with the picture of the baby in the onesie.
Naturally.
Oh my God, can you sign it again? Da, da, da. And then this year, I think this is the 3rd year.
Now the kid's at college.
Now the
and they're
kid's
like,
2.
Can you sign their like letter of intent?
But she had another poster of the picture of the picture of the picture.
I saw her. So she tweeted me, and it was after you. I saw it after you'd already went to the field, and I thought, okay, he's gonna see her. I have no way to like tell you to find this person.
No, I saw it.
And then I'm on the concourse, and I think I went to go get a beer, and I see the woman, and I kind of do like a double take. I realized she had this big rolled up poster. So when I talked to you after the game, and you were like, oh yeah, she had like the big sign.
Yeah.
Weirdest thing you've signed is obviously a child, but I think that we do have to talk about another incident that you had a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Outside Fenway, right? Was it outside Fenway?
It was outside Fenway. You know, if you've ever been to Fenway, you know, like, we park on the street right there, and there's always a ton of fans who wait, and a ton of kids and want to get autographs. And most nights I sign. I don't sign every night, but most nights I sign for as many people as I can. And this night, I think you were picking me up, actually, because you didn't come to the game this night.
I was waiting for you like outside the gate, I think, because
Right.
I didn't want to pull in and be like swimming upstream. Yeah.
So I go to walk out of the gate, and I put my stuff in the back of the car, and then there's probably like 15 or 20 people. And so I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll sign. So I'm signing for the kids, a few adults. And then some girl, I think she was intoxicated, but she was like,
Had to be.
JT, sign my chest. And she starts pulling her like top down.
You're like,
And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, no, like, there's kids here. Like, what? This
had
is not
we been
happening.
in a private space, like without children,
No.
perhaps I would be like, hand me the
I was
Sharpie.
just like, no, I'm not going to do that. What do you want me to sign? Not that.
But there was a point when we first met, you were at a charity event, and a guy said, I will donate $1,000 to this charity if you sign my girlfriend's chest. And I saw the photo, because this was what, like 12 years ago? I don't even know. Years ago, when I still searched your name on the internet and was a psycho on Twitter. Still a psycho, but I just don't search your name. And it popped up, and it was just a photo that was like Justin Turner, like da 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 da, and it was you like signing this girl's chest. You maintain it was her collarbone area. It was not teat region.
I literally wrote no regrets.
No, but you signed your name on this person, and I just thought, I am not signing up for a relationship with this pig.
It was to raise money for Ewing sarcoma. Okay.
It wasn't a good look. And you probably heard it from me. And it just, when you said the other day that woman was like, sign my chest, I was like, oh, is it the same girl from the charity event?
Yeah.
What was weird, it was
never forgets.
No. Would you? But it was the girl's boyfriend, right? So let's do like a Reddit, like, am I the asshole edition?
Oh, jeez.
Like, am I the asshole for getting mad at you signing this girl's
collarbone,
clavicle?
Call it what you will.
Okay. I'm going to just sign a peen next time I see one for charity.
There was no like nipple. Okay.
I hope not. Anyways, it's fine.
You said I'm going to sign a peen? Oh, goodness.
What's the equivalent?
What?
A man's chest? A man's chest isn't as sexualized as a woman's chest. So I had to think of like a sexual item, like a cheek.
Yeah.
A little B cheek? I don't know. Who knows?
Sure
I'm going to keep a Sharpie.
PPY right there on the other cheek.
I'm going to keep a Sharpie on my person just in case I run into a charitable opportunity to sign.
If you get $1,000 for charity.
Don't, if that's not enough.
Go
and then
for it.
Does it need to be, never mind.
Put your John Hancock on.
Anyways, I know I'm not the asshole, but I just really, things don't bother me as much anymore. I just kind of laugh at you. I'm like, okay, get your kicks, baby.
I don't know. I was just like, really? Like,
it just took me
There
back.
was like 6-year-old kids right there too. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, but you did it.
Clean it up. No.
I know. I'm kidding. It wasn't for charity. No. Okay, so we'll just put a wrap on DC and we'll move to New York, where I flew on a delay. And
you made it.
No birds shit on my head this time, which was really nice. But you did foul another ball.
I did.
Back up behind you.
I did.
And you did post this. You posted a ball that was sent to you. But before I even knew of that, I'm leaving the game. And I get in the elevator because I'm going down to the clubhouse waiting area. And who walks in the elevator?
Was it John Sterling?
Mr. John Sterling, suited and booted.
Did you introduce yourself?
No, I get stage fright.
Wow.
Which I can't even believe that I didn't say anything. I couldn't think of how to introduce myself because I thought, what if I say, hi, Mr. Sterling, may I call you John? I am Justin Turner's wife.
Don't do that to
Kourtney.
yourself. Just say I'm Kourtney Turner.
Yeah, but what if he doesn't know who you are?
Well, he definitely knows who I am. I hit a foul ball off his face.
I know, but it's the assumption that he knows who you are.
Right, but I think your least favorite thing in the world is being called Justin Turner's wife, and then for you to do it to yourself seems.
But I mean, without you, I'm nothing to John Sterling. So then I thought, what if I say my husband is the one that hit you in the face with the foul ball?
Yeah, I think that's better.
Are you joking? I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
I think that would have been better than saying I'm Justin Turner's wife.
I know. And then my heart was racing and I got panicked. And then I said hello.
Yeah.
But I didn't introduce myself. And I felt a world of regret. I felt silly.
Yeah.
What if he was mad about it? I didn't know that it had happened again and then he made another joke. I thought, what if he was genuinely upset?
Well, the funny thing about the second one is I actually watched this one go right into his booth.
No.
Yeah, I saw it. And I was like...
That's crazy because I feel like you don't really see where it goes or like a player in general.
It literally went through my head. Like I fouled this ball straight back and I was like, uh-oh. And I looked up and I literally watched it go right into the booth. Now, I can't see him.
Was it like Happy Gilmore where you're like, oh.
Well, you can't see anything, but you can see like whatever the radio station is up there.
Yeah.
So like I knew it was his booth, but I couldn't see anything in there. And sure enough, the next day I come in and I think it was actually after the game the next day.
You're like, my locker had been cleaned out.
Right.
Tires were slashed.
I have a ball signed by John Sterling. And it was like, Justin, why do you hate us so much?
I think it's amazing.
And then I saw the video.
That needs to go right back here. I need like a little acrylic case.
I think it's in my locker. But yeah, we can put it up there. But then I saw the video and it literally came in and he ducked and it like
he was ready.
It hit
this
the
time.
wall like right behind his chair. It might have knocked his glasses off a second time.
No, it was crazy. It's
so he's on
wild.
high alert when I'm hitting there.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
He should bring a glove.
Yeah, I agree. I should start bringing a glove too.
Wouldn't it be great if John Sterling just
snagged a line, like a foul liner
my
behind
foul
him?
ball, and he just raises his fist at me like, I got you, Justin Turner.
So is it a certain pitch was it the same pitcher?
No,
it wasn't.
No.
And it's not a certain pitch that makes you foul it straight back.
This was this was a fastball. I think the last one was a curveball. So
you were just late?
I just missed it.
Which means you were late?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
It just means I
missed it.
Hit the bottom of it.
Oh, okay.
Too much.
I got it. So you're not trying to do it.
I'm definitely not trying to hurt John Sterling.
No, I know. I think it's so funny. It's like a little like friendly thing back and forth. It's cute.
I'll have to go up to the booth and say
I know. It didn't work out with timing last time, but I thought that would have been cool. While we're on on the subject of New York and then talking about when we first met, we went to dinner.
We did.
Our last night in New York. And we went to a restaurant. Do you have a memory of going to Lava with me when we first met?
Yeah. I don't remember who was with us. We had a couple.
I want to say it was Ike, Josh, and
Mike Nikias, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we all go to Lavo and we sit down. We're having dinner, and it just so happened that the Toronto Blue Jays were in town to play the Yankees. And sure enough, look over my right shoulder, and Mark Burley is sitting at the table with some Blue Jays guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure all of you know or have heard that Kourtney was a huge White Sox fan growing up. And so obviously one of her favorite players was Mark Burley.
The best.
So much so that she pulled a book out of her purse.
Not when he was there. I don't think it was when he was there. I had it on me.
You had it on you. It wasn't like Mark Burley saw this. I'm just saying.
No. Yeah.
You pulled out a book.
It was 50 Shades of Grey.
And you showed the guys at the table, like, look, this is my bookmark. And it was a Mark Burley baseball card.
So I don't know what it was. I got like a pack of cards or something and I ended up getting a Mark Burley card. And it was a card from when he was on the White Sox. I just used it as a bookmark. And I just happened to be reading 50 Shades of Grey. I never even finished that book, but nothing was funnier than bringing that book into public places or like pulling it out on an airplane. People loved to talk about it.
Right.
They would say, oh my gosh, you're reading that? It was like an obsession. Like everyone, I just remember, was like very into that book at that time. So that was my bookmark. I must have had like a bigger purse with me. I don't know if I had just got there or something and met you guys, but it was at the table.
I wanted to say we were trying to get you to ask him to sign it, and you wouldn't do it.
I would have had him sign my 50 Shades of Grey book. But are you sponsored? What's happening here? I don't remember approving that.
I'm thirsty.
So I had, and my card remains unsigned.
I wish I remember who the other guys were that were there, but
that were with him.
Yeah,
I bet if we looked at the roster from that year, we could remember it.
I don't even know.
It was like a very quick, like he didn't sit down, like he was standing next to the table. And I don't think I said a single word.
No, you didn't. And he just came over and said hi. And I think the only one he knew over there was Ike. Because at the time it was like, okay, me.
Yeah,
totally,
how did he know
Nikias.
you guys? And like,
I think he knew Ike.
Maybe just from like, yeah.
Well, everyone knows Ike.
I know, but Ike was still like so new at that point. This was 2012.
Yeah, Ike was
maybe
kind
you
of
guys
a big
just
deal.
looked like baseball players.
Ike was kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So there was me with my Mark Burley card. And
at least from my experience with Ike, everyone wanted to talk to him everywhere we went.
No, I know. And I just thought
I was the picture taker. Hey,
I know.
Can you take a picture of me and Ike? Yeah, sure, man.
It's my favorite thing about him. I was like, wow, no one knows who this guy is.
It's great.
Great. So lovely. Come a long way. All right. How do you feel?
I feel like we're rocking and rolling. We got some good stories coming out right now.
I know. I like hate for this to end, but I'm going to wrap it up. I don't want to give too much, you know. I don't want to like blow my load everywhere, you know.
Okay. All right. It was a good road trip. One day you'll learn your lesson.
I will not.
Mark Gurley's the man.
I mean, honestly, they don't make him like they used to. Truly, like he was a workhorse.
I mean, he was a 2-hour, 20-minute game before pitch clock. So
just unbelievable.
Can you imagine what he'd be doing now?
Just incredible.
Incredible.
Still the best pitcher, not position player. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. Friendly reminder to rate and review and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. We're on YouTube now if you're not already watching us on here. So go on there and check it out and you can watch our episodes.
Is it the full thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
You don't even get, I know a lot of people just post clips, but I've just been throwing the whole thing out there. And it's cool because I think people put it on. And now that people can have YouTube on like smart TV or they can have it kind of like on in the background and just listen to it or watch it if they want to, I think it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
But does that add, like you didn't know it was the full thing, so you really don't pay attention?
I thought you just cut clips. So like when I was like fidgeting with my face and stuff, I guess
on there,
that's
baby.
all going to be on there. Everyone's going to be like, what's wrong with this guy? I'm like sweating right now. It's hot.
Well, now that you know you're on a full thing, like you
I'm
should
sweating.
be sweating.
I'm sweating even more now. Like, oh crap.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bum 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 bum.